guys, welcome back to another episode of Conversations with Francesca. Today we're talking retirement. Today we're discussing the popular saying where people get to say that my children are my retirement plan. And with me today is Mrs. Fakunle. Yeah. Okay, so let me give you a little background about Mrs. Fakunle, okay? I consider her a financial expert. She's an accountant, chartered accountant, ACA certified. She's a mom. She's a grandmom. She's a believer, a lover of God. And she's somebody that I consider well suited for this conversation. So we're just going to be talking everything in between. So what parents think, the expectations they have for their children, and what they're looking at in terms of retirement. So Mrs. Fakunle, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
I call her Sister Ronke, so she's a bit shocked. What is Mrs. Fakunle? So in this conversation, you'll hear me referring to her fondly as Sister Ronke. That's really what I call her. So Sister Ronke, do you want to tell us a little bit about your background in finance, just to give our audience a little bit of, just that little intro about your person?
Okay, my name again is Ronke Fakunle. I'm mother of 2 adult children and 1 grandchild. I'm a wife. I'm an accountant by training. I have worked mainly in mostly preparing books. That's what I've done most of my life, like preparing corporate accounts, small businesses, personal, private accounts, taxes. That's what I've done mostly.
Thank you. So you've heard it. So when I tell you that she's a financial expert, I wasn't joking. I knew what I was talking about. Okay, so so there's this popular thing now, and I know that I think I was having a conversation, and I know everybody will say Francesca is always having a conversation. I actually am. That's the thing. I always have this gist and all this chit chat that I actually have. I was having a conversation and we're talking about how parents tend to rely on their children as their retirement plan. So you know how they feel. I've invested in you. I've sent you to school. Okay, now I'm retired. I can no longer work or earn as much as I used to. I expect that you take me in and, just cater for me when I'm old. What are your thoughts about that?
I'll try to be civil here, but I don't agree with that. I think even when I look back at my own generation, my parents are not of that opinion. Probably their own parents or a generation before them believe in such a thing. But I think it is archaic, to say the least. And in this day and age, nobody should think like that.
Do you consider it selfish?
Selfish might not describe it fully, but we can say selfish.
Okay, because I was reading a blog post and somebody said that he bothers on selfishness, expecting that your children should pick up bills after you just because you parented them, you invested in their future.
I actually think it bothers on you not thinking carefully.
Okay.
Because I think in this day and age in which we are, we all prepare for our future. You should be thinking ahead of time. I know I am 56. I know that I will not work. I don't think I will work for the next 20 years. So I won't work all my life. So I need to start thinking, what will I do? I should not be thinking. And I know, because the Bible tells me that my tomorrow will be all right. So the tomorrow of my children will be all right. They would be self-sufficient. They will be comfortable. But I'm not thinking, I shouldn't be thinking that I should now place my own burdens on them. My burdens could include maybe I want to travel. They would have to buy my plane tickets, think about my vacation for me, think about feeding me. But
and health too.
Think about maybe, so far I've had very good health, but maybe I have to go to the hospital, they need to pay for it or whatever. I shouldn't be thinking about that. My prayer for them is that they should be able to take good care of their own family. They should be able to fend for themselves, but I should not be part of the plan. I think that's archaic. I think it is selfish. I think it is us not being reasonable.
Mm.
You know, we always, like we said our tomorrow will be all right. When we
Mm.
talk about our tomorrow being all right, that means that we are thinking ahead and we are believing God that He's going to make provisions for our future.
Right.
I know some people would argue with me, or probably somebody watching or would watch later would think, well, if my children will provide for me, not if you can. And I don't think you should knowingly think my children will provide for me.
I like what you just said. Knowingly think or
Knowingly is like
have
you are
that
knowingly
expectation.
preparing for it, that they
Mm.
will do it.
Yeah.
Why? Because you send them to school. I think what you have done by sending them to school is actually part of parenting. It's actually part of what you are ordained to do as a parent.
So basically what you're saying is that it's not like you've not done anything extra for the child.
I don't think so.
You've not stepped out of your, the confines of
No,
parenting to provide for
no,
the child.
no. You know, my mom would tell me about how her mom
Uh-huh.
helped taught her mom was a complete illiterate. I mean, she would try to say some English and I would laugh at her and she would say some words and abuse me like, what am I saying? That this English that she knows is good
Uh-huh.
enough. She was a complete illiterate. She was a trader in the market.
Uh-huh.
She used to sell bowls and stuff like that. But you tell me, if she could think that she wants to educate her children and all her 8 children are educated, so if she was interested, she wanted, my mom was going to go to the Baptist girls school at Agbo, all the way from the north. They were living in the north. Why? Because there was going to be a scholarship. It was, just so that she was looking for means to educate her
To
children
empower them, really.
so that they will be okay.
Mm.
And do you know, she almost worked till she died. She died, I think, in her 70s.
But culturally,
Actually, today is 44 years ago that she died. My mom told me today, So if she, at that time, tried her best to do that, to make sure all her children are educated, why should I now think? And she thought it was her responsibility to do that.
Right.
So why should I, in this generation, in this century, think that I've educated my children? So it's like I make an investment.
Like they owe you. Kind of.
It's like an investment now that it will yield in future. That should not be how we look at our children.
Okay, so
am I saying that the children should not help their parents? That's not what I'm saying. At times, things turn south, and then parents might need help. Things are really happening these days. Should the children, if they should try to help their parents,
right.
But it should not be like
choking
them to do
what I
it.
hear you say is no parent should raise their child with the expectation that this child will take care of them when they are old.
You see, yes. You see, I and my husband, we try to do some investments. At times you do real estate. You rent out houses. Hoping that when you rent, after some time, there is some money. That's an investment we are building for our future. Your child is not like that. And I'm very passionate about this. Do you know why? I've seen people who maybe have their children, they've trained nurses, especially nurses, I've seen. And they think that nurse earns the world. They've forgotten that a nurse will earn so much, like 200,000 a year, for instance. That nurse has worked a lot of hours.
Right.
Has not slept well, if I'll be blunt. So when that girl earns so much money, then you think, oh, you should just, you should just be able to give you.
You deserve it.
No.
You come to them with that mindset of, I deserve this money.
You should do this.
You should do this for me because I've done this for
you. So like I have invested in a house, for instance, and I think that house, I should reap something from it. That's very.
But you know that this idea of children being a retirement plan for parents is culturally ingrained. So I will give you a background. You know how of course, I will not speak so much about your generation, but growing up and seeing my friends and peers in school coming to uni. Some of their parents have struggled really hard to send them to school. And you know, when they talk, they are like, oh, I'm the first in my home to be going to university. So the expectation is that once I graduate, I'm supposed to be picking up my siblings, raising them. You know, they come to school with a lot of heavy burden on their shoulders, because it's either they pass or they pass. There's no option to fail, because they know that the burden of the family rests squarely on their shoulders. They're the first in line to go to uni.
Now, do I understand that? I do. I totally do. And those kind of things still happen these days. It's still happening now. It depends on the family you come out from. I did not raise my own siblings. I did not contribute to their education. My parents paid for each child. But do I know people whose parents have to, they have to fend for their younger ones? They go to school and their parents already, it's like they know it, that I have friends like that. They have to fend for their younger ones and provide for them. That situation is different.
Right.
My mom told me that their elder brother, he turned 90 last year, so he's 91 now. That's their eldest brother. Actually helped to train some of them too. You know? Paid their school fees. And that makes me to say, I remember once that my mom told me that, at times some of the, you find situations, I don't want to be too specific, whereas a child of that kind of a brother now that helped to train the younger ones now feels entitled that those other siblings have to treat them a certain way. So that's the word I've been looking for. It's an entitlement mentality that is wrong. Now, don't get me wrong, and I'm stressing it. The children have to, it's good that they take care of their parents.
Right.
Like at Christmas, do you think of buying something for your parents? It's good. On their birthdays, even maybe you see something, yes, something that, maybe this woman loves this thing. You can buy it for her or for him, your dad.
Your perspective, though, Ronke, is actually very interesting, because I've also seen people who have said that, and in this part of the world where we are, people would say that the white culture, and that's why some of them don't like to pay for their children's education. They want them to take student loans, because they are saying that, why do I have to invest in your future when by the time you're done, you just take me to a retirement home, or you don't bother caring about me, I'm not part of your plan? And I'm like, well, if you can afford to pay for your children's school fees, you should. Every child deserves an education that their parents can and should pay for.
It's a cultural mentality. I'm sorry to say that. It's a cultural mentality that we have picked up, and we have picked it up because we think that in this environment, everybody goes to the retirement home. But that's not true. At times, we are limited by our exposure. There are people, even if they do go to like a retirement home, they live there, it's for their convenience. Do you know, at times I think in this house, I can't see myself living here forever. Why? Because in the first place, it would be too big for me to maintain, to take care of it, and then go up and down.
Right.
Some days I don't feel like going up and down every time. And I'm not that old. True. So what is the sustainability? At times, what people do is that there are retirement homes that you've bought into it. It's yours.
It's your own.
It's your own. So you've bought into it. It's just like a small apartment, all on one level most of the time, and it's more comfortable. Some will provide you with food options. Some, if you say you want to still cook for yourself, you are free to cook for yourself.
That's a good idea, actually, because
so that is a better idea. It's not a bad idea. And do the children visit them? The children don't just leave them alone. And I also happen to know a lot of I used to know an Indian family not so far from here. They lived there. Their children were always there. One brings breakfast or sometimes lunch. One will bring. That's what they do.
That's interesting. That's kind of.
And then at times one will be, you do it today, I do. At times they They move it around. I know like 2 families like that. That's what they do. They all live in this Panorama Hills.
So I think my follow-up question would be, yes, I hear you. This entitlement feeling is not something that should come up. But people have also argued that when Bible talks about honor your father and your mother, honor should be in all aspects. It should be in the aspect of making provisions for them. It should be in the aspect of picking up their bills, and all those things. And I keep asking myself, is that really what the Bible is talking about when it says honor your father and your mother?
See, I am not saying, I wonder if these ones that I know actually pick up their bills. I don't think so. Maybe they would have their retirement money that they collect, which is less than $2,000 every month. Maybe they would have that, which is their own income. But I believe that those children, there are about 6 of them. They have doctors, they have lawyers, they have different professions. I believe those ones organize to take care of their parents. Okay? So it is not wrong for your children to take care of you. It is not wrong for your children to pay your bills. It is not. But I feel like it is wrong when you kind of make it mandatory that you have to do this. And you see, if they don't pick up all your bills, or they don't pick up your bills, and you are able to live and feed yourself, you go to the hospital, you can say, take my card. They probably will know the pin. My children now know the pin of my card, and you pay for yourself. There is nothing wrong with it.
Yes.
And that does not mean they are not honoring you.
Honor can be in other aspects.
Honor is not always money.
Money, sure.
We are placing too much emphasis on money here. Honor is not always money. They are here. They come. Hello, mom. How are you feeling? That's good honor. Are you okay? Okay. Did you take your garbage out? I see those children ask, at times to even remember that it's garbage day.
I know.
Problem.
It can be, really. Especially with the many days that they have for different things. Yes.
At times the children ask me, because they know I live in the area, so they'll say, which is it the black bean today? That's how come I know about them. So I'll say, okay, no, it's not this week, it's next week. That kind of a thing. So you tell me.
Okay. So now we've heard Sister Ronke. She's made it a little bit simpler. So she's not saying that don't provide for your parents if you can afford it. But what is wrong is the parent demanding it and making it mandatory. So it brings about an entitlement feeling, is bordering on selfishness, making it like, I took care of you because I want you to take care of me. What you did is just a part of parenting. So let's talk about, how do we now plan for your retirement. Now, we've talked about the fact that you shouldn't make your children your retirement plan. What should be your retirement plan?
Now, I don't know, for us in diaspora, there is that thing that we say, there's a pension fund that you can withdraw your pensions. It will be paid to you, I think from age 65 you start to collect it, and that money is nothing.
Very small.
There is also the fact that you could have saved up into your retirement fund. Most of us came when we were older, except for maybe people like you or my children. You are a bit younger, so you could have been saving into your retirement fund and you'd have built it up. But another thing you can do is that as soon as you are aware that, most of us too can still work for a long time, maybe longer than our own parents probably did, or maybe my grandparents probably did. Let me say it like that. So if you can do that, then you begin to look at your life, like begin to set some plan in motion. For me, part of what I did this year is that I started a digital business. I honestly have heard about that thing for more than 5 years. But I thought, okay, I have a few things I do. My hands are full. I don't have any spare time, really. But it dawned on me that everything I'm doing exerts energy. Right. So all those things, will I be able to do it in 10 years' time? I answered maybe. In 20 years' time, I don't think so. I don't think so. So that makes me know that maybe this kind of work from home thing is something I can do, because I think in 20 years' time, my brain will still be working. I'll still be good upstairs. So I can do those things. So you can begin to plan. If you say, oh, I'm not where I'm in access to anything like that, or that they are scam, they are not all scam. You can look into it. I'm not here to advertise my own, so I'm not going to say
Actually,
that.
it doesn't even matter.
But you can begin to look
something.
into things that you can do and work from home. At times, you can buy into a franchise business. You know, some of these franchises, you can later on employ people to work it for you. That is building wealth for you. You're building legacy for yourself. So what that will do for you is that it will pay your bills. You
And then
know,
you don't have
so
to depend on
then you
somebody.
don't have to depend on your children, because the irony of you depending on your children is that you will be making their own life difficult. It can affect their marriage. It can affect a lot of things. You know, and then if you have started them off on debt, they will likely also start off their children off the same way. We are building a wrong legacy there. And it's becoming a life of generational
Sister, if I'm going to cut you there, the truth is, one of the things that people don't, they don't get the full picture is that now we don't have the large families that we used to back home. Now parents don't have 7 children, 8 children. I came from a large family, we were 7. So if you have 7 children and you say, okay, we want to be taking care of mommy and daddy, and everybody bring 10,000 naira, if it was back home, or $10 or $20 or $50 it will be a lot. They can actually cope on that. But now you are talking about families where maybe there are 2 children, they have their own family, maybe they are not earning millions, they have their mortgage to pay, adding your bill.
My own brothers are in Nigeria. My sister is in England. My brothers have their children in school. Good schools in Nigeria cost a lot of money. Millions. One of my brothers has 3 children in the university, private universities. So you know what we're talking about. So at times, I know that it might be hard for him to, if we want to give little things, yes. So do I take care of my parents? I take care of my parents. Why do I do that? Because my parents my parents have really sacrificed for me. Now they are really not working. Before, they used to have little businesses that they would do. The other day I was talking to my mom, and she said maybe taxi that used to be 5,000 naira is now like 10,000 naira or something like that. And that she doesn't want to. I said, but in your own right, as a pensioner, you can pay that money. And she laughed exactly the way she laughed. I said, see, you better spend your money now, because we don't know how you save that money, will blow the money for you. She laughed. She said, no, it's the people who know how that will spend the money. You know, that kind of a thing. But I was just, what's the point I'm making? She can afford it. Although she cannot bear it. How can it be? I said, but you told me how things have really skyrocketed. Right. So if things are expensive in the market, do you think those taxi drivers, they have a different market they go to? They go to the same markets you go to. And then gas is also expensive. I said, so what do you want them to do? And I think she was quiet, and she got the point I was making. And what am I saying? My parents can pay for themselves. They can feed by themselves. If I choose not to give, it's not like, oh, if I don't give them this money, they will eat. No. So if my own parents can think like that, then why should I now, in my own generation, I now think, oh,
my children,
or some people even say they came abroad because of their children. That's not true. That's not true.
There's some element of truth there, though.
No, there's no element of truth. Because you know what? I will tell you, I have a good example. I came here because when we went on cross-posting, we had other people coming. They said, Canada. I told my husband, I said, we had bought things that we were taking to Nigeria. At the end of the day, those things were shipped to Nigeria and given away. We were already buying our things that we are going where? We are going to Nigeria, back from Netherlands. So when we now saw that people, okay, let's try it too now. That's how. And then people were now telling us how, when we come here, in fact, people have wrong impression of it. They do talk about it as if when you come here, the education will be free. It's only free up to secondary school. When you go to the university, you pay. Maybe you don't pay foreign fees. God helping you that you're a citizen, Abi.
Yes.
Or a PR.
You don't pay another fees like some of us did, right?
That's all. But do you pay fees?
You do.
You do. The fees they pay is more than the fees I use for my entire university. So what are we talking about here? That's how so what am I saying? My children, if we took them back to Nigeria, they will be okay because they didn't know.
To make no difference.
Yes. We made them to know the difference now by bringing them here. If they now go back now, they now know Nigeria, they'll do all that. But we made them to know the difference. And I'm not saying that's not good. We've strived to build a better life for them.
We've given them options.
Options. Really. Yeah. We see some who go back to Nigeria.
Of course.
We've seen
I was still which day? I was still on the street of the Gram, and I saw one of these ladies talking about how she moved back to Nigeria because obviously she wanted to, and she just made up her mind that, you know what, I'm done abroad and I go back. So people do it.
I've seen one on the Gram too who said she went. They are back from somewhere in Ontario. They are back here. But what we are saying here is that we're not saying it's wrong to fend for my children. At times see something that is good for me, they will buy for me on Mother's Day, on Father's Day, birthdays, or just like, oh mom, do you want crave? I say yes, why not? I want. And they'll buy it for me. There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Ultimately, I like the way you've articulated this position. Ultimately, in fact, don't fashion your life thinking that your children will be your retirement.
As soon as you see, for me, my light bulb moment was last year. I don't know. It just occurred to me that this thing, I don't think, I used to think I'm running all these things, I can be doing them on the side later. But I realized I can't. It's not sustainable. Then you begin, that's when I used to do work from home. I used to search it until I came across a few things. And I said, okay, I'm going to work these things. Let's see how it's going to be. And I'm doing it. And I like the fact that I don't need to go like around. So you can also work on your own.
Forward.
Some people they are going into real estate. If it's real estate, do it.
If it is savings, if it is
buying stocks, savings is really hard. Buying stocks, shares, all those ones, the returns here is very little. It's very little. So if you are starting now at my age, the return is not going to be much. But if my children are going to start now, which we encourage them to do, they would be able to make good savings for themselves, for their life. But in my own stage, I have to do some fire brigade here. And the fire brigade is to try to save, one, two, build wealth. Like my investments, I've invested in real estate. Where do I recoup it? What do I need to do? The digital business, yes, it's bringing in some money. I've not blown like the people are saying it. But one day I will blow. That's my prayer.
One day you're going to blow.
That's it now. So I think every parent that is able to watch YouTube today should be able to think about, what can I do? Maybe you are just walking around the clock, going on night shift. What can I do?
What else can I do?
What can I do? That's very important.
This is very profound. Thank you, Sister Ronke. I'm just going to ask you for last words, just as we wrap up. So, the dynamics have changed in family. I've told people that we're getting to an era where the things that used to be 10 years ago will no longer be. In fact, we're seeing it. I think we're living the life of where we see that the things that we knew back then are no longer what it is right now. And now we're going into a season where we'll go to Generation Alpha. It's Gen Z now. It's going to be Gen A and all that. So there will be a serious shift where, in fact, you can't even look your child in the face and say, I expect you to pick up my bill. So what advice do you have for parents whose entire life is built around their children taking care of them when they retire?
I think they should have a rethink. In the first place, they might be driving their children far from them. And you see what they are thinking. This I hear people say it. Somebody once said to me that this our children, hey, they are not like us, so they don't care like that. So, and I said, God forbid, my children are like me. They care. Why do I say that? Because I believe that I've invested in my children, and they love me enough to want to take care of me. But they want to take care of me when I've not offered myself as a burden on them. So my advice is that, number one, let us do the utmost best to parent our children and parent them well. You see, it is a seed. And the Bible talks about a seed time and harvest time. That is very real. If you sow that seed of parenting them well, parenting in all areas very well, you also reap the rewards of parenting very well. We should not parent as Ronke is parenting, for instance. Parent as you believe you've been ordained by God to parent. That means that you provide for them emotionally, spiritually, physically, every area of life. Not that in this environment, this is what they do. No, you don't do that. You parent well. You parent in a way that they might not understand you, but one day they will understand.
They will get it.
They will understand you. Parent well. When you do it, you won't need to ask. You will not need to demand that. No. And then that mentality of they are my retirement plan. Let's remove it. Your retirement plan is you making a plan. Your children should not be your retirement plan. Your children are gifts from God now. Abi, that's what we say. God gave them. Yes. And the Bible too says, which we say it a lot. So if God gave you, then you treat them well. Because the owner of that gift will ask for whatever you've done with that gift. You know, there's that parable in the Bible. So you should make your own retirement plan. Don't put your children down by saying, those children, they don't care. Your children care, but don't be a burden on them. They will not care when they realize you're a burden on them. I had the last word. I had the privilege of speaking to one young chap on Saturday. I was really hot. The parents are people like me. But what he said made me understand a few things. Number one, these children, we think they don't know. They know. They are smart. They are spiritually intelligent too. Especially those ones that we've always taken with us to church. They are listening. They are hearing. So don't think they don't know what they are doing. No. We should be careful. We should not treat, if you treat them that way, then they will make plans. So that they won't bring you into their house if they know you will come and cause trouble in their home. Because you'll be demanding for this and that. They will keep you away. But if they know you are useful to them, why wouldn't they want you with them?
As a food for thought, really. Why wouldn't they want you with them if they know that you are not a burden? So really, this is just a cue to parents, to myself as a young parent raising up my kids, that at every point in time, we need to make a plan. Your child should and cannot be your retirement plan. You should figure out, like Sister Ronke said, there are a lot of things that you can do. Social media is a fantastic place now to build and make wealth. There are other areas. Look inwards. Think about what you can do. Saruka said she's on a fire brigade mission right now. So you may want to join her in that fire brigade, and just put some things in place.
I'll show you the way. Come.
Yes, so put some things in place to make sure that this is actually, in fact, that there is actually a plan, really, for to say that you have a plan on how you will end up your life. Okay, so this is a fair place to call it a close. Till I see you again, it's your girl, Francesca. Thank you, Sister Ronke, for being here. I appreciate your time. When I blow, I will call you again. All right, take care. Bye.